He got the Bulls to the playoffs.
Yep.
The T-Wolves to the playoffs.
Yep.
The Sixers, if not for a bounce, the Kawhi bounce, they finally get to a second-round playoff series. So it's the best series they've ever had. Miami, last 4 years, 2 finals. And then he goes to Golden State, and it's like, oh, now they get to the free throw line. You cover the league. So obviously, he's too talented to just bounce around. Some of it's true that he can be a pain in the butt. But he's also a winning player. Like, inside the league, why? Miami, I understood. He wanted big money, and they're like, we're not going to do it. I get that. But what is his reputation in the league? Because he wins everywhere.
Yeah, everyone knows how good he is, and that, as you said, every single place he has been, he has worn out his welcome. Now, what Golden State is banking on is this is the end. They've got the contract that he's going to have for the next couple of years. He agreed to it. By the time that deal is done, he'll be 37 years old. So they're sort of betting on the fact that there won't be some big, crazy, blow-up, acrimonious ending, and that in the meantime, he is giving Steph Curry an ending to his Golden State time that is competitive and
they're
fun
on the same
and
timeline.
Interesting, and they're on the same timeline. And before it, just with Klay gone, Steph was having to carry so much of the load, and even before Klay left, because he wasn't the player he used to be. Now he's got another guy. When he's off the court, if you look at the on-off minutes and Jimmy's on the court, he's making everyone better, even the bench players. And they needed that shot in the arm so badly. And Steve Kerr said he gives us the swagger we haven't had in a while.
That's right. Yeah. And I do think this is I do think Steph Curry has been such a great statesperson for the league.
He has, right?
And I don't believe this very often, but I do believe it in Steph Curry's case. You kind of owed him one.
Yeah. Oh, I think they felt they owed him one.
The Warriors did. Yeah.
I think they absolutely did, because they have a real sense of honor about what he has brought to their organization, what he has done for them financially and otherwise. But I also think they knew they had this incredible asset they could maximize. I mean, this guy's one of the most popular players on earth in any sport.
Yeah.
So keep him winning. You will keep people coming into the building and buying his merch.
Yeah. So sometimes it's just a personnel reality. You watch the Chiefs and the Eagles. Philadelphia had too many good players, right? And Kansas City couldn't block them. When I watch the Knicks, I'm like the coach. I thought Mikal Bridges, OG trade last year, they'd be a good defensive team getting better. One thing that has become clear is both Cleveland and Boston attack Cat, and they go right after him. The last 2 Boston Knicks games, I've watched the first quarter of both. It is over. Do you think New York has misgivings about Karl Anthony Towns? Because he is a gifted offensive player.
I mean, if they are, they just weren't very intelligent about what they were getting, and I don't believe that. That's a smart front office. They know he's not a defensive center. I mean, we all know that. That's why Minnesota brought in Rudy Gobert. They knew what they were getting in Karl Anthony Towns. I think they hoped Mitchell Robinson would be healthier and back earlier than he has been. But also, they thought they'd get better perimeter defense, which they haven't been getting. They have played so badly defensively for a Tom Thibodeau team. It's shocking, Colin. It is shocking.
Well, Josh Hart just came back. That'll help.
He did, but he's been in and out. It's not like he's been just gone for the last couple months. I mean, they've had guys there. They've had injuries, but everyone has injuries. This has been it just against the 3. They're in the 29th or 30th in the league, depending on the day. Yeah. And when you look against top 10 offenses, again, they are second to last in the league defensively.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's crazy.
Is it
for a Tibbs
Hartenstein,
team.
honestly? Was he better than we thought?
There's so many different ingredients that went into this. It's who they traded away. It's now having guys who are vulnerable. Like, you can attack Karl Anthony Towns, and frankly, you can attack Jalen Brunson because of his size. I mean, he's such a gritty player. He's been a marvel for them, but he can't grow. He only is who he is, and they thought they could shore up some of the other spots, and it just hasn't happened.
How about, I think Daryl Morey's a really smart guy, really smart guy. But when you put your arms around certain players, and they put their arms around Embiid, and I've always said there are components to him that are Shaq-like, but he's an odd player for me. He's on the perimeter too often. He's 29% from the floor on threes, and he's shooting more of them. That I know he's gifted. I don't think he's a bad guy. But I said this earlier, sometimes he's the big truck in the garage that it's broken down again and you can't get it out. Like, he's not available. Is Embiid going to cost that front office work? I mean, this thing feels like, Rachel, it's it's gone over the edge.
I mean, he had swelling again over the weekend, and they said they're going to get new imaging on his knee, and they're talking about surgery. If it were me, I would shut him down for the rest of the season. You're not salvaging anything, and frankly, your draft pick is top 6 protected. So if you land outside there, you're going to have to give up your draft pick. You want to keep that draft pick, especially considering how this season has gone. So I would shut him down. I would get him whatever surgery he needs. He came back too quickly last year after playing in a game where he got hurt in the very first place. This whole source of this injury, he never should have been playing in the first place, but he was being pressured to come back and play because of the 65-game rule, and he was on his pace and all of this stuff. He never should have played in that game because he had missed the game before, and he should never have come back as early as he did. He is a guy who physically, with the amount of height and weight and sort of the way he plays, I don't think is ever going to be an 80-game player. I mean, we've seen that. And I think if they treat him going forward, if they can get him healthy after this season and treat him going forward as, hey, this guy's going to play 60 games for us, that's just how it's going to be, I think they have a chance of being able to reset here with him and Paul George. But I would shut down things for the season because Paul hasn't been healthy either.
So I am a big believer in, I think baseball did a great job. Pitch clock has shortened the game by 25 minutes. Mm-hmm. Since they've done it, attendance and ratings up. At Fox, we had great numbers in the National League playoffs. I thought it was the best baseball playoffs in a decade, since maybe the Cubs year. Mm-hmm. Really good. I am a tweaker. I believe in it. I think the NBA is overthinking the All-Star weekend. All-Star games outside of baseballs, and baseballs to some degree, they're just not the same. Mm-hmm. They're not as special. Every game's on TV. I just don't care. And they're trying to tweak it, and I think their tweaks aren't working. Could I just make an argument that the NBA All-Star Weekend, the world has changed. Mm-hmm. The Pro Bowl's unwatchable. Hockey just said, let's try something new.
Totally different.
Is there a way to solve the NBA All-Star Weekend?
Well, I was in San Francisco on the ground for you, Colin, and I asked several player things. Generationally, people are not as interested in traditional sports if you're under a certain age, and that's just across the board.
You know, I've had this theory. I don't know if I've told it to you, that the iPhone changed everything.
Sure.
Is that we're an event culture. Mm-hmm. So UFC is safe, college football is safe, the NFL is safe, the Olympics are safe, the World Cup is safe, and the World Series is safe. And big events are safe.
Well, the hockey that you liked so much was a big event.
It was an event. Events are safe, but we are so distracted on this that Monday through Friday sports that don't feel special, mm-hmm. My wife is not going to let me after a football season. We're watching Netflix.
Yeah, it's not happening on a Tuesday night.
I mean, I honestly believe this, is that my wife will give me events.
Yes.
But if you look at baseball, hockey, and the NBA.
Yeah.
Regular season stuff.
Yeah.
It's a hard pull.
It is a harder sell. And by the way, this is part of the push and pull the NBA has with its stars sitting out of regular season games, because then the players are messaging to the fans, we don't think it's that important either.
Right. Yeah, I hate load management.
I mean, it's a tough position to be in.
Yeah. Are you going to the NBA? Are you going to the Lakers Mavericks tomorrow? J-Mac, you like controversial events. You're very controversial as a whole.
I'm controversial?
Are you going to go to it?
I will be there, yes.
I would like to see if the Nico-Luka face-off
I would
happens.
guess Nico's not going to be there.
You know, well, I mean, I think he'll be in the area, but I don't know if he'll be visible.
Luka's crew might go after him. I mean, Luka's dad may go after the guy. He's really ticked off some of the comments he had afterward.
I don't think Nico Harrison has been seen in his regular seats in Dallas since the trade happened because of the fans around him.
God. I still think if Anthony Davis was healthy, you'd look at them, and on a nightly basis, you'd feel like we could end up in the finals. I think what makes it worse is Anthony's out, they're banged up, there's no Luka, so the product's not very good. Even when they win, it's not as lively.
Was this unforeseeable to you, though, when they traded for a 31-year-old guy with an injury history that was worse than the injury history?
No. I wouldn't have made the deal. I argued this with somebody in the airport the other day. I said because he had missed back-to-back camps, mm-hmm. He was hurt since around Christmas. Yeah. Conditioning's poor, doesn't defend. He's the worst star defender in the league. I said, if you gave me 3 firsts, Anthony Davis and Austin Reeves,